Welcome to There's a Musical for That.
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 And if you like cellar dwellers
And trapdoor lovers.
there's a musical for that.
And if you like mermaids, crabs, and guppies, why? There's a musical for that.
If you like fan of the opera fan fiction, there's a musical for that.
If you like falling in love and broken hearts, and establishing your dreams and then having them dashed, and duels, there's a musical for that.
And it's called Wicked.
And it's called Little Mermaid Live.
It's called Hamilton.
And it's called Dogfight.
And it's called Phantom of the Opera 2, Love Never Died.
Welcome to There's a Musical for That.
We can make it to tomorrow, or just end it all right here.
We could fall flat on our faces, or fall more in love each year.
With so little to be sure of,
Possibilities are vast.
this may be one perfect moment, or maybe this is something that will last.
Welcome to There's a Musical for That, the podcast where we prove there's a musical for every situation. I'm Kayla.
And I'm Tiffany.
And if you like having hope for love and the future and life.
Rekindling things.
Yes.
Or not actually, that's
Yeah, and rekindling
Rekindling
love for
romance in
yourself.
yourself, yeah.
Yes, self-improvement. There's a musical for that, and it's called First Date. Woo.
we debuted on Broadway in 2013.
That's very true. It stars Zachary Levi, who is Finn Rider in Tangled. He was in other stuff, but hey, that's not my business. And also Krista Rodriguez, who was from Smash, and she was also Wednesday in the Addams Family musical. She's also been in lots of things.
What character was she on Smash?
You know I didn't watch that.
I know, but I didn't.
I don't know. The second season.
Click on her
Because
name
last
in
time
this
I
Wikipedia
last
thing.
time I asked you about it, you were like, "Oh yeah, she was in the second season."
Because you told me I need to know her character.
I didn't tell you her character, man, because I don't know.
Scroll down. Smash.
Anna Vargas.
Okay, whatever. She wasn't in.
Yeah, we had this
Alright.
conversation before, and you're like, "Oh, that's the second season." I didn't really watch that.
I watched it.
Oh,
It just wasn't as good.
that's fair. I know she's in that Broadway Here I Come because I have that song because I like it, and she's singing in that part.
Oh, that was the first episode.
No, this is the Tony's version. Where they're like winning a Tony for their fake musical, I guess. And it's everybody singing it. Like
Okay.
everybody keeps coming out on the stage singing different parts of it.
Oh.
You know what I'm talking about?
Nope. But I'm gonna say, oh, like I do.
Okay, I'll insert a clip here.
I'm falling, baby, through the sky, I'm falling, baby, through the sky. It's my calling, baby, don't you cry, I'm falling down through the sky.
Woo. Okay, so let's talk about this musical. I mean, what happened?
Two people went on a blind date.
Mm-hmm. Yes. that hurts.
She came. What's her name? The character's name?
Casey.
Casey
Yeah.
and what's his name?
Charles. That's just a first impression. I could be totally wrong as I look this up.
He came in all dressed up,
first
suit and tie, and the waiter was like, "Oh, you look like you're trying too hard," so he had him take his tie off. Aaron.
Because I remember thinking Aaron is also a girl's name.
Oh.
I remember thinking that.
Yep. And Casey came in a showy
rock.
punk rock dress. Kind of, she annoyed me a little bit at first with her like just hardcore attitude. I was like, all right, you're being a caricature of yourself.
She's obnoxious.
Yes, but she
Toned it down.
yes, it was better.
Yeah, so they kind of meet, and the real first song, I mean, there's other song, my throat hurts.
Drink some of that water.
I was too busy pulling off the label.
First impressions.
Yeah, there's a song before that where people are kind of coming in. We watched this on YouTube where somebody who should not, hey, listen, don't record things. It's not good. It's illegal. But they were waving the camera all around during that first song. Apparently it's called The One. But the first real song is First Impressions, where they are kind of like sizing each other up. Mm-hmm. She thinks he's a bit annoying, and he thinks she is like a badass punk rock girl. But they both say like they could be totally wrong, and he says, well, maybe she's like a nun, or maybe she's like not who I thought.
Which their first impressions weren't wrong, they were just superficial.
Yes.
Which is first impressions usually are.
That's a valid thing. You shouldn't rely on that.
Yes.
Yeah, and then we get her 3 times in this musical. Casey's friend, a flamboyantly gay man character, calls her voicemail as like a bailout, like, hey, if you want to get out of this date, answer the phone. But he didn't leave it at that. He left some scathing voicemails.
Yes, that was overdone.
Yes. I could have used less of it.
Yep. That's all there is to that. The girl for you.
But, well, so what happens? They keep talking. They're getting drinks at first. They keep talking, and Aaron starts mentioning his ex-girlfriend, and his best friend, like, not really there, but in his mind is like, don't mention that. Meh, meh, meh.
And he also asks her about, because he's a blind date virgin, and she's
been on
a lot, yeah.
She's jaded.
And he starts asking her about that, and she's like, whoa. This isn't a topic for a first date. We're still getting to know each other. Keep it light, small talk. And I don't know what they start talking about. Job.
Doesn't matter.
His job.
He
works a lot, makes a lot of money.
And she's like, oh, you care about money. I'll say that again. You care about money, because that was back there. Mm-hmm. It's wrong. I mean, this plot is pretty light and fluffy, and I'm sick, so I don't feel like getting into it. So eventually they decide to order food. Things are going well. You found out Aaron has baggage from his ex-fiancée.
Allison. I remember her name.
I didn't. I was going to say Emily. That was Friends. Mm-hmm. Ooh, yikes. I take thee, Rachel. Scandal of the 4th grade. So you find out that she left him at the altar, and he has this ideal of her that she's this great person. She's not really. And he, I don't know what I was saying.
You skipped ahead a lot.
I know.
So things were going well. They have their drinks, and she's ignoring all her calls from Reggie to get her out of there. They decide to actually go sit down and have a meal together. Mm-hmm. And that's when Casey is having, like, her bad boy exes are running through her mind.
Yes, that's right.
And she just doesn't think she can get a relationship with this guy because he's a nice guy. She's like, I'm attracted to bad boys. And she just comes straight out and she tells him this. Like, hey, look, let's just be friends because I like bad boys.
Right. And not bad boy as in has a couple tattoos and has a Harley. Bad boy like in uses hard drugs and cheats on you.
Yes. And he is upset, and he was like, oh, friends, let's just be friends, blah, blah, blah.
Well, so he storms off to the bathroom, and that's when she has the Safer song.
Yeah, which I did like that song.
Mm-hmm. That's the first one I heard. On Panzora. So yeah, her figment imagination person is her sister, who's like saying, like, you keep saying you want a relationship like me and my husband, you have to try. And she sings a song about how she has been in these horrible relationships and her life is sad, and she maybe it's safer if she doesn't try and just keeps dating jerks, because it's not a shock when they're a jerk.
So he comes back, he's ready to just comes back from the bathroom after that song, and he's ready to just get the check and go, because he's like, look, I don't want to be friends, friend.
I thought that was kind of jerky. Like, if she just wants, come on.
I mean, he
overdid it. I think he was fair to be like a little miffed about it, but it was like, all right, come on.
But at the same time, I can also see, like, what's the point of sitting around? You go on a first date.
Yeah.
Finally sit down to order food, and she was like, I like bad boys. Like, why did... Yes. Could you not have figured that out 5 minutes before and just not ordered the food?
about it at
Yes,
first.
but I can see how he was thrown.
Well, yes, I completely. Sorry, I just want to touch it. I agree with his being frustrated. It's just. Then you say, okay, well, I think I'm gonna leave. You know, it was nice to meet you.
Yes.
Goodbye. You don't go, okay, friend.
Yes, he was being
How
a
old
little
are
bit
you?
of a jerk about
Yeah.
it. But then they couldn't get their check because their waiter, he was about to turn around and ask for the check, and the waiter decides to give some performance and starts thinking about romance.
I'd order love. It's
And
the
makes
best
them
in
hold
the world.
hands and makes them
Dance.
stand up and dance together.
That was a pretty good song, actually.
It wasn't
I'd
bad.
order love. It got them to be like, oh, maybe I should order love.
And then they sat down and their food came, and she wanted a burger but ordered a salad, and he wanted
wanted
something
salad.
healthy but wanted to order something manly, so he got a burger. So they both ordered what the other one really wanted. So their food comes, and they're still trying to be polite or whatever, and Casey's like, hey, you're playing this the wrong way. Like, I get that I was not tactful and everything, but if you play your cards right, I know a lot of single girls, and I can hook you up. I could be your personalmatch.com. And he's like, oh, okay. So then,
He feels better.
yes, and kind of helps the conversation to get going again.
And that's when he reveals that his ex was actually his ex-fiance. And Casey's like, oh my, that's terrible that she left you at the altar. That's ridiculous. Aren't you mad? And he's kind of like, oh, no, it's fine. And she says, no, you have to get it out and, you know, tell her how you feel. Like, imagine she's there and tell her how you feel. And then he sings that song, In Love With You, where it's like, how could I ever have fallen in love with you? And kind of gets out his anger and flips her off.
I think before that, is that he shares about his mom?
Oh, yes.
So
Things I Never Said. The Things I Never Said, that's
yes, which I liked that song too.
right. His mom died when he was in the 10th grade.
Yes, just was not allowed a lot. She worked at a law firm, a lot of hard hours, and she had not a really good heart, and all the stress from her job pushed her over the edge, and she died when he was in the 10th grade. So he
Yes.
just opened up, was very honest about it. Was just like, the only reason I'm working so hard now is that so I can save money, so when I do have kids, I can be in their life, and yada yada. And she was just so amazed by how open and honest he was. And
How he was different than what she initially thought.
yes.
You don't want to see these?
I have that same bra. Not in that size, but
Yeah. It's a little small. It's a little small these days.
maybe I do have it in that size.
You might. That might be the problem here. I'm having a wardrobe malfunction. Anywho,
So yes, he is all sensitive, tells about her mom. She's like, oh, it's amazing how open and honest you are. Some people aren't like that. And then she is helping him get his feelings out about Allison, because he tells her that Allison left him at the altar, and she's like, where does she live? I'm in the mood to go cut a bitch. And
yeah,
she's,
the crowd was like, "Woo,
yes,
Jerry,
yes, we get it.
Jerry.
You're very,
You're tough.
yes, you're
Wow.
tough.
You're a New York chick."
But then she has him do an exercise that her therapist has done with her and her father, and he's like, just imagine imagine her standing right in front of you and just tell her what you think. And then he goes off on her. And after that, so they're getting along, it's going well, and then the check comes. And it's that whole first date of, well, how do you handle the check? Do you split it? Does she pay? Does he pay? What goes on? And he, being the old-fashioned gentleman that he is, grabs the check. She goes for it, and he's like, nope, I'm going to get this. And I think she offers to split it. And he's like, no, I think this is one thing that I have over all your other boyfriends. And he just pays for it. And she's like, well, thank you. And
Yeah. And you think the waiter, knowing that they were both there for a blind date, would have split it, but he seemed kind of like a messy type person who was like, I'm going to force these guys to be together.
Or some restaurants just won't do that.
Well, they should at least ask.
Rude.
Kind of rude. So yes, then they leave, and her stereotype friend is like, I bet she was murdered, after she didn't answer after the third time whatever. So he shows up at the restaurant right after they left, and then him and the waiter have like a first impressions reprise as they change sets, which was like, okay, I know you need to change sets.
Yeah, which it
Could have
was
done
fine.
it another way, but whatever.
But before Aaron left, he
Yes, that's right.
stood up. He's like, look, I think that we have a good thing going. I think we have a good connection here. I think that your hard edges could be good for me, and I
Good
think
for
that
my round lines.
he's like, and I think that my whatever good guy thing might be good for her.
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't want to date any of your friends. I would rather go out with you. So you have my number. If you're interested, give me a call. And then he walks out, and she's sitting there, and then her sister,
Ghost lady.
yes, comes back into her mind, and she was like,
Are you gonna
what
let
are
him
you
walk
doing?
away?
Yeah. So then she
She runs after him.
yes, and
She leaves.
finds him, I guess as he's going down the subway or something.
Yeah, that's what it
and
looked like.
it's like, hey, do you want to walk me home?
And he's like, how far away is it? And she says it's right around the corner. So they start walking, and as they're walking, they sing something that will last. Like, they're both kind of thinking, this could just be a really great night, which is fine, but it also could be something more, and you just don't know. Until you take the chance to find out. And he does get to her door, and he starts walking away, and they just kind of say goodbye. And then they decide to run to each other and smooch. And they kiss.
Yep.
The end.
Yep. So overall, how did you like it?
Yes, but do you want to have...
What? What did I miss?
Tiffany,
What did I miss? What do we usually do?
do you want to have good taste?
What?
Do you want to have good taste?
Oh. Okay. I feel like this is an awkward spot.
I felt like we should do it before the ratings.
Okay.
But I didn't communicate with that with you.
No.
Do you want to have
Alright.
good taste? If so, we have the perfect podcast for you, young listener and young Tiffany.
Should you read it exactly as it's written?
Sure. No. You keep going.
All right, so short plug-in for another great podcast. So the new podcast, Good Taste, features hosts Jacob and Taylor as your docents.
I thought you were well-read.
So not educated enough for that word.
I thought you went to
As your pod
college.
docents, discussing their favorite parts of culture ranging from TV, music, and movies to sports, apps, and food. They also discuss listener suggestions and go over the hottest news in pop culture. This show is guaranteed to make you the coolest person at the office. Listen in every other Friday wherever podcasts are found. Get Good Taste now.
That was good.
Thank you.
You should be
Do-
a professional.
Do you want me to reread it so we do an honest
No, I think that was
plug-in?
good.
Okay, good.
All right, let's do the
They're not
ratings
going to be
now.
offended that I can't say docents.
I think they'll be okay.
I
Hey,
can
we're just
say it.
corn-fed Illinois type folks.
Word for the day. Maybe our listeners don't know what docents is. Do you remember what the definition of this is?
It's like a guide.
Yes, a guide
Do you want
into
me to
something.
highlight it?
No, you're correct. They're gonna guide you into good taste,
Yeah, you should check it
which
out.
is awesome. I am already guided into knowing the word docents.
You learned a word.
I'm gonna say it again so I don't forget.
Docent.
Docent.
Docent. Yes. Thank you to Jacob and Taylor
Yes, thank you.
for providing us with good taste. Lord knows we need it. Okay.
Okay,
so,
ratings.
What do you want to rate this out of?
This is just.
Dates, number of dates.
I was thinking that, but
Why not?
that could be good or bad.
I keep wanting to say roses, and I don't know why. That doesn't make
first
sense.
date drinks.
Yeah, how many shots?
How many first date drinks does this get?
Yeah.
I'm gonna. Here, you rate first.
3 out of 5.
I'm gonna give it 3.6 out of 5, which is wasteful. You know, you really shouldn't leave a drink on the
I
table.
do that a lot, though.
But yeah,
I do
you
that an awful
know,
lot.
it's
More for those starving children outside. who need to survive on the calories from alcohol. That's what I think they do with it. I don't know. 3.6 is fire.
Yes.
That's more than I thought you were going to give it. So
That's just my overall general feelings. If you actually start asking me about specific things, it's going to drop. Because it's not like it's a crazy, well done, not deep plot. There's only a couple songs that I really like. But it's up my alley of just being a light, fluffy,
positive, happy ending.
Yeah. So I'm like,
The happy ending, I'm sure, pushed it over for you.
Yes.
For me, it was just like, okay, I could go either way.
Yeah.
You know, I'm down to cry whenever. But I didn't have to, so that was good.
Yes.
I like the hopeful note. We need some hope in these times in which we live. Which is all the time, I mean, honestly.
I mean, I do and I don't. So I like the hopeful note of, like, not giving up on things. If you want a relationship, then yeah, you still need to go for it and put yourself out there. But also, our society pushes romance on us all the time. And you know what? Singleness is a perfectly acceptable option. So there you go, kids.
I mean, that's very true.
Mm-hmm.
If it's something that you want, I mean, with near anything else, you have to put some sort of work into it, and you can't just give up at the slightest hint of disaster.
You shouldn't avoid it because you're fearful. But if you don't want it, there's no shame in not wanting that.
Yes. And if you do want a relationship and you don't find yourself in one, why don't you work on things that you care about? Like Casey, her sister, talked about in all areas of her life, she was kind of giving up on things, and she had a photography show, and at the last minute she just said, oh, I'm not ready, instead of, and she was actually ready, she just kind of gave up. Maybe if you work on things in all areas of your life and improving yourself and having a good time with yourself, it won't matter if you're in a relationship or not. Because it shouldn't matter, actually, in real life, to me, unless you need, like, insurance to get a major surgery. Then you might need that, but, you know. What was your favorite song?
I'm gonna probably Safer. I also liked The Things I Never Said about Aaron's mom, but I'm gonna go with Safer. Really sums up Casey's entire character in the story.
Yeah, it's her ethos or whatever, pathos. I usually would say Safer, but I think I like Something That Will Last more, so, because it's like they're both kind of give it a shot, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work, but at least we had a good time. Yeah, is what I liked about it.
That was a good one too. Those were probably the three best. First Impressions was catchy.
I like First Impressions too. I always like something where it's like people singing over top of each other and changing harmonies, you know, because I can't. God, I can't. Oh, we should mention this is our Valentine's Day episode that's coming out after Valentine's Day, which is why we watched this. So if you went on a first date on Valentine's Day, I hope that it was okay. Probably shouldn't go on a first date on Valentine's Day, though, right?
I don't have a lot of
right?
I don't put a lot of pressure on Valentine's Day, so I don't care. But
give me that candy.
I mean, if it works out, I guess that's a really cool story. But if not, I don't know.
It's just weird to me. It seems like a lot of pressure. Just go out on a like regular Tuesday. If it's a first date, in my opinion. But
no, I wouldn't want to do it just because of all the crowded couples going out on Valentine's Day.
And all the teenagers. I hate seeing teenagers in Applebee's on Valentine's Day. I'm like, oh my god, get out of here with your newspaper freaking money. I'm sure young people deserve love too. I'm sure they do. I don't know.
They could be getting married for all we know.
That doesn't mean anything. Do you know how many people get married all the time?
They could get married and stay together their entire lives and live happily ever after.
Okay. If they get married, if they get married and are happy, that's great. Lots of people get married and just stay married just because. That's just not the jam for me. Got a lot of sparkly bottles.
Well, this took a turn. All right then. So
happy Valentine's Day.
Yes, if you were a little down after Valentine's Day, never give up in your dreams.
Don't give up on yourself. First and foremost in anything. If you believe in you, there's always someone in your corner. That's why I always accomplish whatever I feel like, because I always know that I can do whatever I want. Nobody can tell me not to do something. I got that from my dad. Hey, Dad, I know you don't listen to this because you asked me if I like musicals recently. But anyway, hello.
Is that when he gave you the
Yes.
tickets
He
to.
was like, Kayla doesn't like musicals. And I was like, are you, like, what's the matter with you? Are you subscribed to this podcast? He was like, oh, yeah. But you don't listen
Well,
to
here's
it.
a gift.
You don't listen to it. Okay. See you in
Alright.
2 weeks. We love you. Happy B-Day.
Bye.
Bye.